So if you own a car, and chances are if you're watching this video, you do, every once in a while you do have to stop and fill up your tires, especially when the season changes. I live here in Florida. It's literally the day after Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. And it's very, very warm. I have short sleeve shirt, but tomorrow it could be very cold. It goes up and down a lot during the winter. And so even if you live in Florida, you have to keep up on your maintenance, on your tire maintenance. And that's about keeping your tire pressures at the proper pressures. If your tire gets too low, you're gonna lose out on MPG. And if it gets way too low, it could even detach from the wheel itself, and you're gonna have a blowout. You're gonna have reduced performance. If it's overinflated, it's also not very good. But if you're up on your maintenance and you check your tire pressures constantly or frequently, you're gonna be all set. And so in order to do that, you have to have a tire inflator. And I have 4 of them in front of you, and I really wanted to choose just one tire inflator that'll work for absolutely everybody. Unfortunately, every situation is different, so I really concentrated on a few situations that may fit your needs, and this by no means is the best one, but it's going to go over what I'm looking for a good tire inflator and what you should look for as well. This is way more practical information than, let's say, testing how fast one is or testing how durable one is. It's more about what you should get to make this as easy as possible to fill up your tires, because a lot of the time maintenance and things like that doesn't get done if it's not convenient, and I want to make sure you guys are able to do this in a very easy fashion. So I bought these out of my own cash. I've used actually this one for like 10 years now, so we'll go over that. And each one has their quirks and features, so we're going to go through each and every one of them. And let's go ahead and start with actually the best one, the best tire inflator overall that none of you are going to buy. Let's go and check that out. Well, here it is, and we have to go past our Mahindra Rockstore. By the way, if you guys want me to do videos on the Mahindra Rockstore, let me know down in the comments below. Happy to do them, but we're not here for that. We're here for the absolute best tire inflator no one is going to buy. I keep telling everybody that, hey, if you want a tire inflator for your garage or for your house, buy something like this. This just happens to be a Craftsman, but there's Rigid, there's many other brands. Brands don't really matter that much. It's all about having a pancake compressor, and it has, you know, the hoses. It's made to be a large compressor. You can fill up any very large tire very, very quickly, and you get something like this. I'll put the link in the description for this specific setup, but as long as you have the air hose, you connect this to the air hose, and this actually glows in the dark, and just press the button and it fills up your tire. It's super convenient. I even love this thing here. It just latches on very, very quickly, and you have so much hose. I made sure it has enough hose to go around any vehicle very, very easily, very conveniently. The issue is it's extremely loud, and it's for demonstration purposes. Let's go ahead and turn this on. That's enough of that. So it's extremely loud. It takes up quite a bit of space. It's very inconvenient. You can't really lug it around. It's a little bit heavy. I mean, it's not too heavy, but you can do it. That's why I say no one's gonna buy this. I understand people are looking for convenient ways to fill up your tire. If you don't have a space like this where you can drive up, and I do constantly drive up my cars, you know, my garage is over there. I drive up my cars here. I fill up my tire there. Not an issue. But you're not always at home. Sometimes you're traveling. I would not put this in the trunk of your car. And by the way, if you need a jump starter for any reason or any purpose, this is the one I would go for. I would not go for anything else. I have a link in the description. I've had always a link in my description for this jump starter. It's a very simple battery system. I've had this for like 8 years now. It always works. Dealerships use this. That's why I actually bought one, because I see the dealers use this. And yeah, don't get anything else. I don't recommend this. Anyway, so this is the absolute best one no one's gonna buy. Let's move on to the ones that you actually will buy. All right, let's talk about what's out there in the market. You're gonna have hundreds and hundreds of choices, but all of the choices basically wind up into one of these categories right down here. And so over here, you're gonna have the small ones. This is an Auxito one. If you're gonna get a small one, if you want a nice compact one that you wanna keep in your car all the time, Auxito is pretty good. It's done pretty well. It's it does what it's supposed to do. It has its little hose here, and it actually brings a carrying case, which I have in my pockets, and you can keep it in its carrying case or carrying bag. And yeah, it has the inflators and things like that. These inflators, and yeah, I like that you can keep it in the carrying case like that. The hose will stick out if you leave the hose out or on it, and I don't like taking the hose off. So this is the category a lot of people are going to go for. I'm going to recommend against something like this, and I'll show you why in a second. The other category is kind of a bigger one, an all-in-one type thing. So this has the same type of inflator. It also screws in and off like this. So this is a 10,000 milliamp hour battery. This is a 12,000 milliamp hour battery. And yeah, it's got simple controls in the front, and it has something like this. So this is supposed to be also a jump starter. And I'm not too sure about having something do multiple things, but this could be convenient to have lying around. You plug this in here, you put this on your battery, your car battery, if it needs to be jump started, if your battery is dead. And it might work in a pinch, but it's a pretty small battery. And I'm not gonna sit here and test this because, I wouldn't put too much, and you have to hit the boost button right there. I wouldn't put too much reliance on this thing. Also, the buttons here are very sensitive. So, like the on button, you just breathe on it and it'll turn on. And so I wouldn't keep this in your car necessarily because it'll turn on and off all the time. But this is one of the styles. And then you have these. So this is an extremely high quality one. And I bought it because I want to just have one solution to take this to a racetrack and be able to fill up my tires, not have to worry about battery capacity or anything like that. It has the built-in hose, very high quality stuff. This is extremely high quality. This is one of the highest quality things out there. This is a Eaton Wolf. And again, we're gonna go into details, but I just wanna give you guys an overview. There's a few of these styles, like big backpack styles. They're also kind of billed as, battery backup systems. This has a 20,000 amp hour battery. Not bad. It's fairly large for a unit like this. And it works really well. And it's very convenient to have. And it even comes with this waterproof case so you can keep stuff in there. And again, this kind of thing would basically be if you're gonna use it for camping, you're gonna go on to the track, things like that. That's what I would use it for. And we're gonna go into detail about what I like and don't like about each one. We're gonna talk about this one. I have not actually owned it for 10 years. It feels like it's been 10 years, but I bought this in 2017. And I bought this to go to the track. And the reason I bought this one specifically, and the branding doesn't matter that much, but if you have a tool, right? Let's say if you use Milwaukee, DeWalt, Ryobi, each one of them is gonna have something like this, a tire inflator just like this that uses detachable batteries. I love these a lot, because I have, 6 of these batteries. They were very cheap. I kept getting them for Christmas from my dad, etc. They like to buy me cheap tools. I honestly did not think it was gonna last very long, but I've had it since the summer of 2017. It's been knocking around. I always bring it to the track. Every single time I go to the track, I bring this out, and it has an automatic feature. So you put it on the PSI that you want, and you put it to the tire, and it'll stop whenever it reaches that PSI. It's rare. It was rare back then, but now every single one of these has that feature. So I haven't even mentioned it yet, but it's a feature that you want to make sure you have. But this I like because, again, you could use those batteries. It has a plug. You can plug it into any wall. And of course, you can plug it into your car. Remember that? So back in the olden days, you used to have to plug in your tire inflator to the plug inside your car, the cigarette lighter plug. And it would work that way. But this thing works all 3 ways. So you can use the battery, you could plug it in, or you could plug it into your car. Super cool. My favorite of all time, obviously. And if you have tools, if you have DeWalt, Milwaukee, etc., I would buy their branding of this specific one, not the gun one. I don't like those gun ones. This is what I would buy for sure. It's really, really nice. It has a little carrying case for a little needle and nozzles and things like that there. I think that's very convenient. And honestly, if you're gonna buy one and you have the tools, battery tools, just get one of those. If you don't, let's go over the other ones that have the different options in detail. So now that we have an overview of what they are generally, let's go over These small portable ones, I don't really recommend them for a number of reasons, but if you must have a very portable small one and you're not really filling up big tires, these might work out okay for you. So to turn it on, you do this. And I like this one because you actually thread the hose onto the tire. There's no guesswork. You just thread it on. Now it does take a little bit of time, whereas the other type just clamp on very easily. And it shows you right here, 29.5 pounds of pressure the tire has, and I currently have it set at 35. So it will start when you hit this button, and it'll stop whenever it reaches 35, or I hit the stop button there. Now, a few things about this. Number one, it doesn't have a really functional way to remove air if I overinflated it for some reason, or if I want to remove air. And sometimes the hose gets loose from this because it has a detachable hose. Now, I originally thought that was cool because, you know, you could replace the hose. Maybe it's a serviceable part, but I've changed my mind on that. Sometimes if there's a leak of air comes between the body and where the hose sits, it's not a very secure hose fitting. But, you know, for such a small little compact unit, this is one of the better ones. So if you want something like this, I'll leave a link in the description below. If you have a big tire like this, or an even bigger tire than this, you're gonna have trouble, because when I've tried to fill up actually this very tire, it was 20 psi. I wanted to fill it up at 35 psi. It first of all overheated, so I had to, you know, disconnect it and reconnect it, and then the battery died before it finished the job, so I had to go plug it in and recharge it. And so it's not really made for bigger jobs like this. It's a very small pump, and the smaller the pump inside, the more heat is going to create. So you got to be careful with overheating. Luckily, there's safety switches. It's a very safe item. It won't actually die on you. But turn it back on again. It's not the quietest, but it's not too loud either. So yeah, I would honestly avoid these. I'm not the biggest fan of them, but if you want one of these, this is one of the better ones, 10,000 milliamp hour battery. It works fairly well. This next one is the Jesper. Obviously, these are all made in China. It's a 12,000 milliamp hour. Yeah, there it is, 12,000 milliamp hour battery. So it's 2 more than the previous one we had, and it's got an extra feature of being able to jump start your car. I really wouldn't count on this though. I've used a number of them in the past. Some of them are okay, but I really go to what I showed you earlier in the video. That battery is the one to go if you need a good jump starter. This might be able to get you going though. In a pinch, it's better than nothing. And the way you would do that, you hit the boost button, you'd plug it in. Well, you plug it into the battery first, you hit the boost button and go, and it automatically knows that you're trying to do that, which is cool. But that's not what we're here for. I like this better than the previous one because it's got that multifunction, so it's got that little bit of extra, and it's not that much bigger. And I think the pump inside is a little bigger as well. Let's go ahead and test it. And I prefer these styles. It's showing me it has 44 psi. No, there we go, 29. So it takes a little bit of time for it to calibrate. So I put it into the PSI, it's 29. Let's turn it on and see how it does. So already we know it's faster than the small one, right? And again, the smaller it is, the more heat it's gonna generate. This is still fairly compact. I like this a lot because, again, it has the extra functionality and it's gonna fill it up a lot quicker than the previous one. And I've used it a couple times before to fill up my tractor tire, actually, over there. And yeah, it did fine. And so if you must have a small compact one, this is a good one to get. I'll leave a link in the description below. Let's move on to the next one. And like I said, this is gonna be my main recommendation for most people that have power tools already with batteries. I just happen to have Black & Decker. I also have Ryobi. And I wanted to show you what not to get. This is one of those gun styles. It's a very simple thing. I mean, I guess you can get it if it's cheap enough. I got it because it was like $10. I haven't even used it yet, but you just, you know, it's simple. You just you put the tire thing in, tells you what pressure you have, you turn it on, you turn it off. Very, very simple. Not bad at all. Again, I don't like these because I like to be able to set it and forget it. You saw the two previous ones, battery powered ones. They have the ability to set the pressure and go. Well, this one did it, and this one did it a long time ago. So let's turn this baby on. Old style digital screen. Again, this is from 2017, and it's running off its own battery power. But again, you can plug it in to a wall socket, and you can plug it into your car. I love these. Again, Black & Decker, DeWalt, Rigid, Milwaukee, they all have something similar to this, and they're not too expensive, especially if you already own the batteries. This is the way I would go for most people. Let's show you how it works. Everything is stored on itself. I don't have to carry extra bags or anything like that. Everything's on its case itself. And even though I poorly put this away, it has provisions for every little thing. It's got the needles back here. I love this thing. And so let's set this pressure to 35 PSI. And I can change the units if I want to. And in case you guys are wondering which pressures to set, in your door jamb, every single car is going to have manufacturer suggested tire pressures. Go with that if you don't know. So it's amazing. I've been using this for 7 years, 8 years, a lot. I use this a ton, especially if you do a lot of track day driving like I do. You're changing pressures of your tires constantly. You have to drop them down when they get overheated. You lift them back up when you're going home. I use this a lot. And it never fails. It never fails to go. I think it's very impressive that it does that. Man, are these good. Durable. They're meant for like idiots like us, like me, for job sites. And you know, I think it came with a hose so you can do like a higher volume. I have lost that hose a long time ago, but it did have a space for it as well. So this had all the provisions for everything that you were ever going to use this for. And this has been my go-to. Honestly, I recommend this to a lot of people, but there are people that don't have their own power tool brand, or they don't have any power tool batteries like I do. And so for those, there is a really high quality one that I would also recommend. Let me show you that now. And here it is. This is the Eaton Wolf. And I didn't really know what to expect. This is over $100, or about $100 from Amazon. Again, all the links are in the description below. But this was very high quality. It came with this. It's probably not waterproof, but it's probably water resistant from what it feels like. And you open it up, and my goodness, is it really nice. Feels really good quality. The hose itself, very long hose. I like that a lot. And it comes unthreaded like this. And I'm just gonna show you. So it comes, so you can go ahead and thread like I did with the previous one, or it also comes with this very high quality air chuck. And not only can you inflate with this, but you can deflate as well. And let me show you that. So very high quality. I'm gonna go ahead and put it right back on. There it is. Very convenient to be able to dial in whatever pressures you want. Let's go ahead and start this up. So it's showing me it's got 32 PSI. And it actually showed me, so this came with a calibration certificate. So they calibrated the pressures on this thing. I think that's amazing. And you can tell people actually wrote on this. This is not a printed, this is a printed form, but where the inspector actually wrote, you can see somebody pressed on it with a pen and actually calibrated this thing, properly. Now, I don't know if it's accurate or not. We're not here to test that. They're accurate enough for our use. I love that you can just set whatever pressures you want. I definitely don't want to set it to 150 PSI of pressure. That would be ridiculous. Let's set it to 35. Look at the increments. And the pump slows down as it gets to the end. Well, that's pretty cool. Now it stopped at 35, but it's showing me it's got 36. So I just take off a little pressure and I'm all set. That is cool. So you can tell these guys really cared about what they were doing with this. I know it's made in China, but you can tell when it's quality made in China. And this is very high quality right here. I'm actually very impressed. It's got a little light here. And it's fairly bright. So if you're working on something or if you need to see, and it's actually placed in the right way, so you can go ahead and use that. And the strobe for safety reasons, etc. Let's go ahead and turn that off. But I really like that feature. It's fairly quiet for what it does, and it has the storage solutions for everything you need for this thing. And it's rechargeable right here, but you could also use this as a battery bank. So it's a 20 milliamp hour or 20,000 milliamp hour battery. It lasts quite a long time for charging your phone and things like that. It can charge your iPhone probably 3 or 4 times from dead zero. And again, they actually cared about how this thing functioned and worked. And so if you want a high quality one and you don't own a power tool battery, or you just want a high quality one to carry around with you all the time, I would go with this. This is what I would go with. You can tell they put a lot of thought into this. And I applaud a company when they do that. And I'm going to actually keep this in my arsenal. And I'm going to replace, I gotta say, I'm going to replace the good old trusty Black & Decker that I've had for so long. I'm going to replace it with this, because I always felt kind of bad if it, drizzled a little bit and this thing got wet. It could break. But now with the case, and it's kind of waterproof. It doesn't say anywhere that it's really waterproof, but you can tell they actually put the rubber covers on stuff. It's pretty waterproof. So that's what I'm going to use going forward. And that's all the details that we wanted to go through. I know it's a lot of details, but I like to get into detail with you guys to show you guys what I recommend and don't recommend. So that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys for watching. Again, my recommendation, fairly simple. If you own battery already, buy one of these. If you don't, buy that Eaton Wolf. I like it a lot. They really care about the quality. They calibrated the dang thing. None of these are calibrated like that is. So I find that super cool. I told you guys what not to get as well. If you have any questions, put them down below in the comments. I'm glad to answer them as we go. And I hope this helped you guys out. And if it did, hit the like button, subscribe for more of these videos. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.